has been one of the major reasons why innovative ideas have not flowed in the organization. So that is something that you have to take care of and ensure that the whole team is energized to stand behind an innovative idea. Now, there are some simple lessons of how companies we can encourage innovation. These are very simple. So what is it? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Keep your innovation simple. Start with building it. You can't go from a level which is low to a level which is very high in one day. So you have to take baby step at a time. It could be having a new marketing strategy, going into digitalization, which I'm going to talk about, or finding a supplier who is able to collaborate with you to probably provide you different types of material or improvement in the supply chain. It could be anything. So don't reinvent the wheel. Keep things moving and get into the groove of innovation. Make it a routine. Schedule an hour, impromptu, and you call your people and get into a brainstorming ideas that, okay, what are the things we can do different? Challenge the status quo. That is the important word. Challenge the status quo. Why? Why are we doing like this? Why can't we do it the other way around? Some of them will work, some of them will not work. Solicit suggestions. Many companies you go to, there is a suggestion box where people will put the suggestions. But I have, at least my personal experience is that most of the suggestions, they are not given enough attention. Because people think that, okay, we have to do it as a suggestion box, so we put a suggestion box. But when the ideas come, the actual follow through or the implementation of the ideas actually happens very, very few times. And that is a reality. Get your team on board. As I said, the teamwork to build a culture of innovation is very important. So get your team on board. Invest in innovation. You have to invest, whether it's your time or it is technology, which you have to either license or you have to purchase. You have to invest in innovation, maybe small. I'm not saying that you have to pump in crores of rupees for creating innovative technologies. It's not that. You can do it in a small way, but you have to get into the groove. You have to get into the mentality of doing things. Educate yourself. All of you are attending this SOTEX meeting, and you continue to attend so many SOTEX meetings where there are so many topics being talked about. Learn new skills and read what is happening in the global market. What are the challenges you are facing? What are the opportunities which are coming? And you will learn a lot. And remember what I said, networking, that you have to network with people to get more ideas into your organization. Harness underappreciated trends. Many times some trends happen and people think that, oh, this is a fringe idea, it may not work. But then sometimes those ideas can become mainstream. So constantly be on the lookout for new ideas. Even if they are small today, they can become big business later. So you have to look for those little trends that you see, and trade shows where there are hundreds of exhibitors. Those are good places to actually go to small areas or small exhibitions, which demonstrate ideas. They're small, but they could have far-reaching consequences. The last is, all of us are busy, and you are super busy because as an owner, you have the responsibility of managing everything. But what typically happens, and I've seen it happening in companies of the size of 250 crore, 400 crores, 500 crores in India, that we tend to micromanage. We want to have our finger into everything. We want to make sure the product is, the supplier is coming on time, the supplier, the payables, the receivables, quality, the customer acquisition, you name any function in the organization, your fingers are into it. That is a reality. But if you try to micromanage your business, where is the time for you to take a step back and think a little bit as to how the business is going to look like in the next 3 to 5 years? So you have to let go. You have to let go some of the decisions to your next level, and you have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture and then create a strategy what your subordinates can implement. But devote some time every day trying to do that. So this brings to an end the first part of my presentation about talking about innovation. Now let's talk a little bit about textile. I'll go through it quite quickly because most of you are pretty much aware of it. Now, we know there are some challenges with the textile industry. We know the market size is big. We expect double-digit growth. We know that it's resource intensive. Very simple example, t-shirt takes lots of water to get made. We use fossil fuels, coal to a very large extent. That is releasing greenhouse gases. We are already under severe threat. Several international organizations are saying that the global warming is exceeding the rate which should be growing in order to keep the global warming within 1.5 degrees C. We are not going to do that if we continue at this rate. And textile industry uses a lot of fuel. The processes are still not advanced and there are inefficiencies in the process. So there is an area for improvement. We know that developing countries, we had the incident in Bangladesh, we know the labor conditions are difficult. We also know that today's customer, their demographics, their buying power, their choice of apparels is changing very fast. So consumer demand is changing very fast. It leads to a lot of stress in the supply chain. Because if you produce something by which time it reaches the consumer, the fashion is out, then you basically have unsold stock. So to be able to have a flexible supply chain is important in textile, very important in textile. It's important in other industries also. And we see it in many other industries, even in industrial companies, we see that they want flexibility in the supply chain. You see what has happened with the China situation, that we have a severe shortage of semiconductors. So to have an agile and flexible supply chain is also a challenge for the textile industry. And we know there's extensive waste with either unfashionable or non